This is WFYI News Now. It's August 9th, and I'm Abriana Herron. On today's show, American cyclist and Hoosier Chloe Dygert is an Olympic champion. Health experts warn high-risk individuals on attending the state fair. And high schoolers in the classroom pitch their own creative ideas to address the human impact on climate.
The neat thing about seeing all of these ideas come out of the classroom is it's not, I can't do it, it's we can do it. And that's what gives me hope.
Those stories coming up, but first, the Indiana State Fair annual cheese masterpiece was unveiled this week. Sarah, the cheese lady, Kaufman, has been sculpting cheese for 18 years at the state fair.
Indiana State Fair people know cheese carving, but everywhere else I go, cheese carving? I never heard of cheese carving.
The popularity of food sculpting has grown over the years, but Kaufman is considered an expert in the medium of cheese. Every year she ties the cheese art to the fair's theme. This year's theme, the art of nature, resulted in replicas of famous artworks, including the Mona Lisa and the American cowlick. Kaufman says one of her favorite aspects of the work is interacting with fairgoers.
And they can see it evolve and see how a sculpture is made. And they just continue to get surprised every time with all the detail we put in.
Kaufman started sculpting cheese nearly 30 years ago in Wisconsin. That's where she set a Guinness World Record with a 925-pound cheese roller coaster. For the past few years, Kaufman has worked with a fellow artist, Nancy Baker. Baker, a high school art teacher and food sculptor, talks to her students about her side hustle.
This is the same skills they're learning in clay and in carving foam and that. And then I'm like, look, guys, this is a real-life application, and you can earn a living doing this.
The ladies clocked in about 250 hours to complete the work of art that will be on display through the run of the fair. American cyclist and Hoosier Chloe Dygert is an Olympic champion after a career-threatening injury and numerous obstacles. Dygert teamed with 3 other cyclists this week in Paris to win the team pursuit at the Olympics. The gold medal was a long time coming for the 27-year-old from Brownsburg, who has fought back from her crash at the 2020 World Championships in Italy, the Epstein-Barr virus, and a heart condition that required surgery. It was her second medal of the Paris Games. Dygert rallied from a crash early in the Games to win bronze in the women's individual time trial. Between July and October, states across the country hold their annual state fairs. But some health experts warn that bringing animals and humans together in one place can be an easy place for diseases to spread. As Side Effects Public Media's Ben Thorpe reports, experts are advising high-risk individuals to take precautions when attending the fair.
Concerns about diseases at state fairs are heightened by the first-ever detection of bird flu in dairy cows in the U.S. earlier this year. Some dairy workers have also been infected. Indiana has not had a confirmed case of bird flu in cows, but some scientists worry that the state, like many states, hasn't done enough to look for the virus. Some states like Minnesota are testing their dairy cows for bird flu before going to the state fair. Indiana is not doing that. Andrew Bowman is a professor of veterinary preventative medicine at The Ohio State University. He says immunocompromised people should avoid the cattle barn this year.
I'm still going to the fair. Family's still going to the fair. I had a milkshake when I was there. Go enjoy the fair. If you're in the high-risk group, I think you need to exercise a little caution.
Experts with the Indiana State Board of Animal Health are advising visitors to wash their hands after visiting the animal barn. I'm Ben Thorpe.
And for our final story today, Indiana recently approved new standards that now require high school students in earth and space science to learn about human-caused climate change. From WFYI's education desk, Lee Gaines visited a classroom in Bloomington where high schoolers pitched their own creative ideas to address the human impact on climate.
Bloomington High School South junior Campbell Brown is pitching her idea for a flying air filter that sucks up carbon dioxide to Indiana University climate scientist Ben Kravitz.
And so its benefits is that it'll decrease the amount of greenhouse gases that are in the air.
This conversation is part of a larger lesson about developing technologies that reduce planet heating pollution. Kravitz helped develop the lesson with a teacher at Bloomington High School South.
The neat thing about seeing all of these ideas come out of the classroom is it's not I can't do it, it's we can do it. And that's what gives me hope.
Kravitz and his colleagues recently published a paper on the lesson, and they hope it will inspire educators across the country. I'm Lee Gaines.
That's all for today's episode of WFYI News Now. Our podcast is produced by Drew Daudelin, with support from the news team at WFYI and public media journalists across the state. Our news director is Sarah Neal-Estes. Kendall Antron produced our music, and I'm your host, Abriana Herron. If you like today's episode, remember to subscribe and share, and follow WFYI on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube to check in on our newsroom throughout the day. Thanks for listening. We'll be back on Monday.